Let's talk about what Michael Saylor knows that 99% of financial markets and 99% of people in general are still waking up to. I would highly recommend listening to this interview, Future Proof Bitcoin and Beyond with Michael Saylor. It was a great interview, great for understanding strategies, Bitcoin Treasury strategy, if you want to dive deeper. So Saylor's thesis is obviously that Bitcoin is the superior capital asset. Most companies capitalize themselves on short-term treasuries, which provide 3% annualized rate of return and 3% volatility. Strategy flipped this model completely on its head by capitalizing itself fully on Bitcoin. And now Bitcoin, as opposed to that 3% ARR and 3% vol, Bitcoin has 60% annualized rate of return and 60% volatility. Bitcoin is not just a treasury reserve, it's an engine that creates shareholder value. So what is Bitcoin yield, which is what strategy is doing for shareholders? It's not interest, it's not staking to yield more Bitcoin, it's the increase in Bitcoin per share after each raise. This is what is called accretive dilution, meaning there's dilution in the sense that there's more shares, but the Bitcoin per share is still increasing. I saw that Saylor doesn't even like the term accretive dilution. He doesn't want the word dilution in there. He just wants to call it accretion, which I respect. MSTR is diluting up, turning new capital into more Bitcoin per share, right? The more money they're able to raise, the more Bitcoin they're able to acquire and provide that as shareholder value. So this is a chart demonstrating that accretive dilution. This is on MSTRtracker.com. And this is the shares per Bitcoin, so you can see that their strategy is paying off and the amount of shares per Bitcoin is slowly decreasing, meaning that's more Bitcoin exposure for MSTR's shareholders. So Wall Street still doesn't get it. Most analysts are actually calling MSTR a meme stock, which is pretty funny. I like to think that every other stock in the market is a meme stock. MSTR is the only true stock because it's the only stock capitalized on real money. Saylor is playing a completely different game than any other company, and that's why other companies are just now kind of starting to get on board. We saw this with GameStop adopting a similar Bitcoin treasury strategy. It's yet to be seen if other companies will follow this playbook, but Michael Saylor is laying it all out there and he wants other companies to engage in this strategy as well. All other legacy companies brag about how much fiat they're getting rid of because cash is trash, right? You're holding melting ice cubes, and the more you're able to get rid of, the happier your shareholders are going to be. If you're sitting on a bunch of cash, shareholders know their value is just getting burned every day due to monetary debasement. But when you capitalize a company on Bitcoin, you want to acquire as much of that pristine capital as possible to provide shareholder value. And that's exactly what strategy is doing. Bitcoin also finally has regulatory clarity, which is something Saylor talks about a lot, especially in this interview. He talks about the new administration in the US and how we finally have some regulatory clarity. With the establishment of the Bitcoin Reserve, some traditional finance people or people on the outside looking in might not see that as a big deal, but it is a big deal for Bitcoin, right? They classified Bitcoin as the one decentralized digital commodity. Everything else is a security or just a token. And with the strategic reserve, the US government basically said, we will not sell our Bitcoin, and that means you shouldn't sell yours as well. And it's yet to be seen what the budget neutral means of acquiring more Bitcoin that they decide upon. But regardless, it's an exciting time to be in Bitcoin, and it's great to finally have some clarity. And so any other cryptocurrencies by this model is legally murky to capitalize a company on, and Bitcoin is the one true asset that companies can feel safe with clarity to put on their balance sheets. Bitcoin first capital allocation could become the new standard for any company in the stock market. It's yet to see when this will happen, but it's clear that it's eventually inevitable. Saylor's going to keep stacking and keep running this speculative attack on the legacy financial system. MSTR is building a template for how to survive in a Bitcoin era. Other companies are free to copy this strategy. And if these other companies don't follow suit, they're going to be left behind holding melting dollars. They're going to be melting away shareholder value, and MSTR is going to be the pioneer. So I'm excited to see what happens next. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you're looking to get some Bitcoin, my personal recommendation is River. They have no fees on recurring purchases, and unlike other crypto exchanges, they have full proof of reserves to prove on the blockchain that they own all the Bitcoin that they say they do. Use my referral link below, and we'll both get some free Bitcoin when you sign up and make a purchase. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. As always, together, let's work, save, and build a brighter future with Bitcoin. See you in the next video.